Hello and welcome to another update video about BNB. BNB has been moving sort of on its own for the last few days. Before we talk about what happens here, let me just zoom out a little bit just to explain where we are. We rallied obviously in 5 waves here into the 4th of Feb, came down in an ABC correction into our green support area, reversed here perfectly at the 61.8 retracement on the 10th of March and rally, right? And we're now rallying, and it did reverse. I highlighted that we probably had 5 waves up and we got 3 waves down, but it didn't even come back to the 50% retracement. So they don't always have to get there in a wave 2. I mean, the assumption would now be, obviously we rallied in a wave 1, came down in 2, so trend is up, right? And that after we hit the wave 2 support area and reversed, that was a great entry point, of course, and it did rally, and we had 5 waves up off the 10th of March low. So you have all the confirmations that you need that the trend has shifted. Now, to see a little bit better what's going on, let me hide that resistance area because that's not relevant anymore. Now, if I zoom in, I would nearly say that we have a good chance that the wave 2 bottomed here. Let me just double check if an overshooting B wave is still an option. Yes, just about now it's still an option. So 2 options here. First option, it actually bottomed and is rallying. Absolutely possible. It's getting quite impulsive here at the moment at this stage. And if it goes above the pivot, $329, then I assume we are in the 3rd wave and we can get target of 1.618 extension. We talk here about $390. Now, of course, not in one straight line. First major resistance, I would say, is here around 329. Then we've got this high at 337. And then we've got 356, just sort of as next steps, next targets based on Fibonacci extensions. The thing is, the move down was in 3 waves, as you can see here. So it could be an ABC, but it could also just be, well, it could be the ABC in wave 2. Yeah, but it could also be A wave, overshooting B wave, and C wave down. So that's the other option. So we're now deep, very deep in resistance, which means, I mean, I'm not suggesting to you to do it. That's entirely your decision. But if we now see a little bit of a reaction to the downside, it would be an amazing short. Why would it be a short? Not because it definitely needs to play out, but because the risk is low. Risk is low in terms of you have rallied basically into the pivot here, $329. That's sort of the maximum that you would normally allow a wave, an overshooting B wave to go to. Anything above that would indicate we are in the 3rd wave, which means typically from here you could set a stop loss above the high, but only if you see a reaction to the downside. So I would always wait personally for an initial 5 wave move down and 3 waves up. If we see that from here, it could indicate we're rallying down, or we're dropping down in the C wave. Still likely in my opinion, but of course this short, it doesn't have the highest probability of working out. Why is that the case? Because we are coming up quite impulsively, and we have reached now really the absolute maximum. So there's a good chance it pushes just through here. So be prepared for that mentally as well as risk management wise. But what I'm telling you is reward to risk is quite decent, because, you know, basically you would risk maybe $2 or $3 for possible 30, 40. So it's pretty decent setup, but I would personally wait for a reaction. Now, what we also see here, this looks a bit like an ascending broadening wedge. These would typically break to the downside. Of course, no guarantee, and it can still move a bit higher. But I just add up the things that I see here. First of all, the wave 2 didn't reach the ideal target. So it could very well just be an A wave. This move up looks a bit choppy, and an ascending broadening wedge. Could be a B wave and the wave down in C. So again, it can be an overshooting B wave as long as it's below 329 or 329.10. And also here I would, I'm just saying you get the volatility, and most coins that make overshooting B waves, they respect that level, but nothing is ever for certain. So just know that yeah, but this is a decent setup in my opinion. The same way as this was a decent long setup. Here the green box. The yellow box wasn't reached, but then again, you know, it is mainly to be understood as support. They don't always have to get there, but because it didn't get there and it would be likely in a wave 2 to get there, I'm thinking of this ABC solution or structure. And yeah, I mean, this is make or break now. So a break above 329, breaking and sustaining above 329 indicates we are in the third wave. Seeing a reaction to the downside from here would indicate that we have a good chance to drop, well, in the first instance, I would say, to the ascending trend line here. But eventually, it should then, if it's a C wave down, hit this area between 293 and 277. That's my view about BNB. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.